What is happening, boys and girls? Jim here, RC80. Today is Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. We're out in the RC workshop. We're getting ready to go outside with the Traxxas Trx4m High Trail Edition F-150 for its second run in the snow. Now, the first time we took the vehicle out, it was right around 19 degrees Fahrenheit, and I ran the vehicle for roughly an hour before my fingers started to freeze and I brought the truck back in. But I'm sure the vehicle could have ran longer. So we're going to take it out today, see how long it runs on a battery pack. We're going to run it until it hits the low voltage cutoff. We'll come back in, throw the battery on a voltmeter, and see what it reads. Now, I just came back in from a run with my Axial SCX24 Jeep JLU CRC, and unfortunately, this vehicle only ran for right around 25 minutes before the battery went dead on it, or before we hit our low voltage cutoff. We were getting stuck everywhere we went, so it was kind of a disappointing run. A lot of brass goodies on the vehicle, brushless outrunner motor, high voltage servo on the front as well. Low voltage cutoff on this vehicle has three settings: low, medium, and high. I have it set for high currently. When I brought it back in and put it on the voltmeter, our battery was reading 7.6 volts, which is technically a storage level. I'm pretty sure we could have ran the vehicle a little bit longer if we had it set on a different setting. So next time we take it out, we'll put it on low voltage medium and see how long it lasts for. All right, let's take the TRX4 out and see how she does. We're just out here with the Jeep, and we couldn't get very far. We had all our lights on. Significantly heavier vehicle with the Jeep. We got stuck right up in this area here. See our tracks right there. 18 scale versus 124 scale. We only have headlights on this versus headlights and taillights. Since this is a Traxxas, I'm sure they're low voltage LEDs. I'd imagine they would be. No foams inside our tires. Tires are 64 millimeters in outer diameter versus the SCX24's 54 millimeter Super Swampers. This is a stock steering servo, stock motor. Gearing has been lowered by the previous owner. It has a Traxxas crawler gear set in it. I find the steering servo seems to have more than enough power, at least out in this kind of stuff. I do believe that the shocks need to get rebuilt and new oil, possibly something a little bit thinner, and maybe softer shock springs. I did order a new ring and pinion for this vehicle. A Trio front ring and pinion, which would be, well, one that I'm going to put in the front axle. And that is a 16% overdrive. And then I have a Mias ring and pinion for the rear axle, which is a stock gear ratio. They're both helical cut and made of metal or steel. I hope steel. Now we're not having. I think we actually got up the hill a little bit further with the Jeep. Oh, I said that, and the Ford got mad. I was like, "What? What'd you say?" Jeep made it farther. Well, the snow has gotten a little bit warmer. We're basically just like driving on a Slurpee or a slushy material. Bunch of little icy BBs. It's like frozen marbles. Dig a hole. I'm staring at the tires just to see if the previous owner put a different gear set in it, just to see if the front tires are spinning faster or not. For a second there, they look like they're spinning faster, but it looks like after studying them, it seems like they're the exact same. Well, we're not doing so good right now on a snowbank. Made it up further with the Jeep. Jeep was not acclimated. This thing is... Jeep's heavier. Jeep has a brushless combo in it. Medley of other parts in it. Probably due to the overdrive on the Jeep's front axle. The front axle spinning faster than the rear, 36% faster than the rear on the Jeep. Meant that she was clawing her way forward. The biggest overdrive that I could find for this one was a 16%. So the only way to really get it overdriven any further would be to underdrive the rear. Find something that's larger than stock. But I might not be able to do that with that gear, with the differential housing. Might not fit in there. Well, I'm not one for giving up, but the little Ford that could on the last video, we were walking all over the snowbank. We climbed up through all this stuff over here and across the top and down the other side, but it was a lot colder, 18 degrees Fahrenheit, and we had about a quarter of an inch or a half inch of snow on top of everything. And the little Ford was doing great. I really had a lot of fun with it. Well, we're getting stuck. When we were out here with the Axial SCX24, I was saying that this truck would probably do better since it was lighter, which it probably would be. But I think if we have the, I think it's the overdrive once again on the front axle on the Axial that was pulling the vehicle forward. I think if we had more of an overdrive on the front axle of this truck, that would probably make a hell of a difference. Once again, we're going for run time here, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how far we make it up the hill. I'm laying down in the snow to get the shot here. Doesn't matter how far we get up the hill, it's just a matter of how long she runs for. We're 15 minutes in right now. An hour would be a long ways to go. Can't believe I was out here for an hour the other night. I have to go back and review that video. Maybe we weren't out here for an hour. And one thing I'm being reminded of here as I'm looking at the truck is that this has brass or bronze bushings all the way throughout it. I'm looking at one right now on the passenger side, inside steering knuckle. And I did order a bearing kit for this vehicle. I was going to order one for the new truck as well, but I only had so much money to go around. So no bearing kit for the Bronco as of yet. But we have a sealed bearing kit for this, an Endura sealed bearing kit. Price is right. On sale for $13.99. The Enduro one was normally like 16 something. It was on sale for 13. I would normally go with a set of Fast Eddie's bearings for it, but those are $26 in comparison. And they look like the same bearing. Really, it comes down to the race, how big the race is, and all that nonsense. I've had some bearings with the blue seal on them that looked like they were really good bearings, but they were cheap, and they came apart quick. We're getting stuck here. Don't want to make this too tedious. We'll go back somewhere maybe where it's a little bit cooler. All right, so yeah, we ordered a new body for the truck, new ring and pinion. One thing I don't like about the parts for this, which I don't know if it comes down to the manufacturer or the people who are selling the parts, but they sell the ring and pinions for these TRX4Ms in sets of 2. So you have to buy 2 ring and pinion gears, and they give you the same gearing with both of them. That's kind of a bummer because well, it's okay for people who want to put the same gear set in it front to rear, but they should also sell them separately in case you want to run overdrive and an underdrive. That way you don't have to buy two different gear sets. So that's what I had to do, is I had to buy a gear set with the 16% overdrive because it came with two gear sets, and another one with the stock gear set, which was, I can't remember, 2412 or something like that. So I've got enough gears to do both vehicles, this one and the Bronco. But that's what I don't like, is that you can't just buy the front ring and pinion, the overdrive, you know, for it separately. They make you buy two complete gear sets if you want to do the entire truck. If you want to put, helical cut gears all the way around, front and rear, then you're going to have to buy two different gear sets. I mean, two different sets of two. Enough to do two trucks. Got a little throttle persuasion to get up that hill. Sorry about the far off view here. I'm probably end up getting more use out of this than I will out of that new Bronco. Really, I really like this truck. Now I have another friend, Dan Weiss, another viewer who became a friend, channel subscriber who became a friend. He does a lot of custom paint work, or does some custom paint work. He's not bad. He's pretty good. He's starting to paint bodies for other people from time to time. Custom bodies. Does some really nice Joker bodies. And some nice weathered bodies as well. So I might ask Dan what he thinks about maybe doing a weathered paint job on this vehicle or a camouflage paint job on his body. Something along those lines. I like the brown that's on here as well. If they made the Chevy, I know you can get a clear body or a white body for the Chevy, for the K10 version. If you painted it this color, it would go along with the TV show The Fall Guy from back in the 80s. And that was a cool truck too. Combination of sliding and braking on the way down the hill. We are 36 minutes in. We're going to run until this thing stops. Make our way into the adventure course. Got some big melted cavities around all these trees. That's always a danger zone. Snow melting around the base of the trees. Good place to get stuck. Good place to lose your truck. Or snowmobile. In real life. Podium is completely covered in snow. We're not on the podium right now. Podium's over here. But it's completely covered in snow. We do a lot of staging right here on this hill with the 110 scale vehicles. We'll usually stage up right there before we pull into the adventure course, which is right here.
We're going towards the podium right now.
Oh, the bridge came down. Look at that. The Adventure Course bridge, the main bridge came down over there. Just noticed that. It collapsed. Well, Dan Weiss, at least you got to drive on it, brother, before it collapsed. When Dan was up here, I was kind of saying that some of the stuff here was getting to the point of not being very stable. All right, we're coming into the podium on the adventure course. Podium Hill. We had a little bit of downtime here in between with talking, monologuing. Which way do we go here? We're going over top of the podium. We can go to the left. We should probably go to the left. Probably be more interesting. Go towards the frog pond. Where I have to rely on picture in picture zooming. Unless I start moving. Got a little hard there to the left. Started getting a little spin going on. Making our way towards the frog pond, which is completely buried. Snowed in, along with the tunnel over here, over under rock bridge, or over under tunnel. The first over under tunnel. Pulling up towards the frog pond right now. This would be the rocky approach. And this would be the center of the frog pond right down here. That deep spot would be the deep spot. This would be the bridge coming down and over and then around towards the tunnel, which I think we're going to follow the bridge and go over top of it. Use the bridge and snowbank as another bridge. Down here in the hole, around the outside on this berm. The berm's actually further out, so the snow is built up. Now, what would make sense would be to stay on this ridge line that we're on right now and follow this ridge line up. Dropping down into this hole is where the snow tunnel's at, or where the tunnel's at. So we're going to change our angle up here and drop down into the hole. See if we can follow that up. If we can't follow that up, we'll ride the ridge line. Stop to look at the camera for a minute. I'm not too sure how long this thing will record a video for before it stops. To be honest with you guys and gals, we went, 57 minutes the other night with this thing. Normally I stop my camera from recording about every 20 minutes. I hit stop and start a new video. Just to guarantee there's no interruptions. Or that the camera just stops recording and we don't know about it. New camera phone. So we'll see how long it goes for as well. Pretty sure it'll go at least an hour. Just like this truck. Oh, we made it. Oh, we're almost there. There we go. We made it. We made it up. Controlled braking / sliding down the hill. Yeah, the tunnel's completely snowed in. Don't think we can make it up the other side. Let's go. We're going to make our way towards this, all this damage over here. So let's head over that way. We're going to make a hard right over here. And go down this hill and head over towards the teeter-totter and kind of skate our way around the top, maybe. Did I mention to thank the viewer for this truck? Can't thank you enough, man. This thing's awesome. I love it. Once again, you can see how you need taillights as the vehicle pulls away from you. Like I said, Traxxas, I think they did that on purpose. A lot of companies probably do that on purpose.
um, give you a taste with the headlights, and then you quickly realize when you drive it at night for the first time or do any kind of filming that it's absolutely key to have taillights, just for reference, vehicle reference, where you're at. Well, we're skating our way up this hill, crawling up the hill. Our brick bridge is right here. Everything is snowed in down here pretty good. I'm just holding my hand on the throttle here. I'm gonna walk around the brick bridge. Oh yeah, this whole thing is collapsed over here. I just caught out of the corner of my eye. Make our way up this hill. We're gonna maybe turn towards the teeter-totter. I shouldn't have stopped. Come this way and we'll side skirt around. So once again, I think they kind of give you a taste with the headlights and say, hey, you know, for $24 you can get the whole 9 yards with the headlights. Headlights, taillights, turn signals, backup lights, the whole works. You're like, sold. All right, so the bridge is just wasted. Wasted. I'm pretty sure that's the normal angle right here, but that is shot. That's pointed down like this. And that one over there should be level and it's pointing like this. And same thing over here. It collapsed in between our 2 points. This was all built with just scrap wood that I found out in the woods. It's amazing it lasted this long. My channel actually just turned 8 years old a couple days ago. Big hole down there. So channel just turned 8 years old. Get my camera going. I zoomed my camera in and I'm trying to get it to go back to 1. There we go. And wow, this thing is totaled. I'm not too sure how long this bridge has been up for. 5 years, 6 years, something like that. We use a lot of deck screws. We can see the carnage down below down there. And rocks down below that. Yeah, boulders. You build out of stone and it lasts for a long time. You get what you pay for with this. Which is the price of all the screws. Drive over this bridge a couple more times while we're here, eh? Room's already paid for. The bridge is broken. Don't want to fall down there, man. That would be rough. Might not get our truck back if we fell down in that hole. Oh, we're getting stuck. Sun was shining on this part. Really getting stuck. We're going to have to roll on the power. Oh, I had it and then I buried it. I let off. I had that perfect speed. Need that perfect amount of wheel speed. Get that right RPM where it's digging and moving at the same time. Well, not necessarily digging, just forward progression. You hear the tires grabbing. These Mickey Thompson Baja something or other XS Pro something tires. Oh, it's terrible. I normally know all that stuff. Mickey Thompson Baja Pro, I think. Baja Pro XS, I want to say. 64 millimeters, once again, outer diameter 64 millimeters, which I believe might be 2.2 or 2.4 inches. I'm not too sure. It's good size for this truck. It could probably get away with bigger tires. These look nice on them. It looks right on this vehicle, on the scale with the High Trail Edition. I'm not too sure if I even really noticed any tire rubbing going on. The only thing I really don't care for about this truck is the servo on axle. The way the servo is sitting on the axle. I don't like servo on axle trucks very much as it is, or just servo on axle setups, put it that way. I know they're beneficial and superior in a lot of ways, but once again, I think it interrupts with suspension travel. Not so much on this because they have the servo sitting vertical within the chassis rails and not laying down flat on the top of the axle. So it doesn't eat up as much space inside the frame rails, and the suspension can articulate left to right a lot easier. When they're laying flat inside on top of the axle, it has to fit in between the frame rails when you're articulating the suspension, and that eats up a lot of room. Like I said, on my SCX24, I had to pry the frame apart just a little bit on the front to give me that extra clearance so that the servo wasn't grabbing on the frame rails. And the servo that's in my SCX24, the Mofo Servo Beast servo, the mounting points, the tabs are rounded. It only has a single mounting screw, and that's rounded over to make it a little bit easier on that transition going between the frame rails. This one, it's mounted vertically inside the frame like this, and it has all kinds of room. But where they have the servo mounted to the steering link, I think it just looks ridiculous.
Quick video interruption here talking about servo on axles, flat mount versus vertical mount inside the frame versus servo mounted inside the frame. Ultimately, for maximum suspension travel up and down as well as articulating left to right, a servo mounted inside the frame is best because it gets the servo out of the way and it leaves all kinds of clearance between the axle and the frame rails on the vehicle. Now this one having the servo vertically mounted inside the frame rail here, we can see with our suspension fully extended and we articulate all the way to the right and to the left how close that servo is getting to the frame rail. This is the High Trail Edition once again. Now the only real main difference between the High Trail Edition and the regular TRX4M is the shock towers on them. The shock length is the exact same. Shock towers are shorter to the frame on the High Trails. They go from a higher mounting point on the regular TRX4Ms, which essentially bring the axle up closer to the frame rail, making the vehicle lower to the ground. And with the High Trails, they bring the shock mount from up in this area closer to the frame, which drops the frame rails down. Then they added longer links, slightly longer links to it, and longer drive shafts, which gave it a lift. Since they dropped the shocks a little bit further down, it drops the servo further down into the frame. Like I said, if we look at it here on full articulation left and right, it's pretty close to catching on the frame. It's not hitting right now. We've got no problem with our vertical travel there, but when you're articulating left and right, it's getting pretty close. Now the TRX4M, the standard TRX4Ms, the servo is probably sitting up inside the frame rail just a little bit higher since the shocks are mounted just a little bit higher. So not too sure how they are. They might actually have a little bit more clearance left to right since it's mounted up a little bit higher. They do make aftermarket shock mounts for the TRX4Ms. They give you a lot more shock mounting positions on the frame rail. So you can mount it a little bit lower. So technically, if you put some Trio aftermarket shock mounts with the multiple mounting locations onto a TRX4M, like a standard TRX4M, you can probably bring your shock from its normal mounting position down to a position like this and actually give the vehicle a suspension lift and raise it up. But not too sure what they make for the High Trail Editions. Nevertheless, there's a look at our servo. You can see how close it's getting to the frame rail on that vertical mount, just swinging left to right. On my SCX24, once again, this has a horizontal mount on it. They do make a horizontal mount for this one as well. Endura makes one, and Mias Racing makes one, where it lays the servo flat. On the High Trail Edition, that'd probably be good, especially if you went with longer shocks, and you weren't going for a low center of gravity style chassis. That might give you more clearance between the frame rails when you're articulating left to right. Having that servo sitting flat down here might not get as close. On the STX24, especially with this heavy-duty servo that I have in here, this Mofo B steering servo, I had to widen my frame rails. I had to grab it with a pair of pliers and tweak the frame rails outward a little bit just to give the servo extra clearance, as well as removing the front bumper mount. That way I could stretch the frame apart. But it's still, if you push the axle to the left or to the right, it still grabs on the side right there. But it's rounded over, so it's a little bit more of a smooth transition, but still, it's there, and it does grab. Same thing on my brother's deadbolt. His is relatively stock at this point in time. He does have a Emax servo in here, but the frame snags the servo when you're articulating the suspension. It's a pretty tight fit between the frame rails and the servo. Pretty close tolerances. Looking at this 1/10 scale vehicle, it has a servo mounted inside the frame rails, right up on top in there. That gives us plenty of room for compressing the suspension, as well as articulating left and right without having to worry about anything coming into contact with the frame. So I prefer this style mount with the servo inside the frame for maximum suspension, articulation, and travel. But when it comes to power and things of that nature, ultimately having the servo on the axle gets more power available to the servo and to the steering. Just because it's solid mounted right here, it's a 1-to-1 shot from the servo horn over to your steering knuckle. The higher the angle on your steering link right here leading up to your servo arm or your servo horn, the harder it is for your servo to push it left and right. So the fact that it's locked in this lower position like this, and this angle never changes, means that it has a lot of power steering left and right, a lot of throw left and right. Now, this style mount on the Trx4m, which I can't stand how they have it mounted to the center of our drag link down here, but that gives it the maximum amount of power off the steering servo, because it's pretty much 1-to-1 from the servo horn to the steering link. So it has maximum throw left and right, as well as a lot of power to the left and to the right, just because it's 1-to-1 with the steering link. So this one's probably given a maximum power. This one would be next in line with the maximum power versus having the servo mounted in the frame. But once again, as far as maximum suspension and articulation, having the servo mounted in the frame versus on the axle would be the better way to go. All right, so there we go. That's just my 2 cents on it. Let's get back to the video. All right, well, we're not getting up this hill. Not right now, not without packing it down. This kind of stuff right here that we're driving in would be perfect for the Traxxas TRX4 Broncos with the deep lug paddle tracks, or the Vatera Ascenders with the deep lug paddle tracks. Maybe even with tires too. We could definitely go far with some tracks in this stuff. The snow is a couple feet deep back here. I'm able to walk on it, so it's still packed down pretty good. I'm kneeling in the snow right now, and I'm only sinking in a couple inches, so like I said, the tracked vehicles would probably do well out here. Now, before we go down this hill, maybe we ought to try to make our way to the right, the other way towards that tree branch over this way. I think we're SOL here. Keep falling into a hole. Laying in the snow. I hope you guys and gals appreciate it. Trying to circle this tree branch and skate my way up this hill. It was too much to ask for. It's gonna get steeper and steeper here as we go. If we turn around, we're gonna lose all our forward momentum. Just keep walking this hill sideways. We might walk our way around. I think we're gonna fall right into my hole here.
That's what she said. Oh, we're going for it. We're going for the hole. We're going to fall into it where I was kneeling in here. And we lost all our forward momentum. Ah, maybe we can make up this hill. Nope, we're not going to make it. Oh, we're at 55 minutes. We get close to 60. I think I might stop the video. Well, we'll just let it go. We'll see what happens. If the camera stops, we'll start another one. Not going full tilt, trying to get the most out of this battery. I think full tilt will just end up getting stuck anyways. Stuck faster. That's a big mess right there. I gave up my momentum as I stood up to move. My forward progression. Oh, we're going to roll it. I actually hear the air leaking from the tires, escaping from the tires. The steering servo is not bad at stock steering servo. I was fully intending on buying a new steering servo for this vehicle. A hole there. I was fully intending on having to buy a new steering servo for it. I'm trying not to move. I'm going to just keep on trucking here. Going between footprints. Oh, don't get stuck. As I was saying, fully intending on getting a new steering servo, but so far it's working pretty good. Knock on wood. Working pretty good. Of course, we're not out on terra firma. And we are down in a hole. On our way up this hill. Heard the axle go thud as it hit the ground. Bottomed out as we're backing up. Getting stuck going up this hill. Well, let's circle back around this way. We got to stick down in the path and it looks a little bit more interesting. Gears in this are a little bit noisy. The transmission. Previous owner mentioned that to me as well. Plastic gears. Circling this tree, snow's all caved in underneath it. Cutting hard right, which is eating up power on the servo. A little bit more so on the SCX24 with that Servo Beast servo in there. Now we're getting stuck. And we're getting close to 60 minutes, 59 minutes here. And cold temperatures as well. Just for battery sake. Plastic gear set once again. Person who gave me this vehicle. We said 1 hour and it's still recording. Okay. Person who gave me this vehicle. Once again, put a plastic gear set in here and was talking about being noisy. I ordered a gear set for this from Mias, and it's a combination between steel and brass. The main gear on each of the gears is several counter gears, or a couple counter gears, which have a big spur gear essentially with a smaller pinion type gear attached. and this was alternating between steel and brass. So it ought to be relatively quiet gear set. Most people would say, I want all steel for the strength and blah, 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 blah. Well, for the size of the truck, you probably won't have to worry about it. It'll probably be plenty strong enough. All right, we're sitting on top of a snowblower right here. Snowblower chute. Never thought you didn't want to fall down. Won't see that till spring. Got the old Alice Chalmers over there. We'll head towards the old Alice. Maybe we'll goof around by this chute a little bit more if we can make it back up here. We're having no problem going downhill. It's been an uphill challenge all day today. Hey, not bad. We made up the hill. Not gonna try going over. I think if we do, we might end up down in a hole. Don't do it, Jim, you fool. Don't do it. Don't do it. We're gonna drag her back bumper very carefully. Contact. We made it. Woo! I feel kind of proud of that. Definitely not making it back up, that's for darn sure. Circle up out of that valley. 1 minute, 1 hour and 3 minutes. We're still trucking. We're off the adventure course once again. Bridge is totaled up there. About half throttle, I want to say, going up the hill there, maybe a little bit less. It's a big tree. Scale wise. It's like Pandora. Oh, pesky tree branch holding us up. Yeah, little part sticking out there. Use you for traction. This is the big rocky hill on. We had to bypass her, or had to go up with the tongue tied. When Dan Weiss was out here with his 6x6, his TRX6 hauler, he tried making it up the rolling brick hill over here. Was able to make it up the first set of bricks, but wasn't able to make it up over the second set. It was just too much of a transition. And then backed up and came around the same area that we just went up. I was trying to get him to come up this area right here, but it might have been too much of a transition as well. We're hauling the General E on the back of the TRX6, which was painted up like Starsky and Hutch. Starsky and Hutch tow truck. Oh, man, we might scratch the roof here. Oh, it's getting close. We're going to have some serious scratches here. This is not good. One tree branch is just too low and it's in the way. Oh, we're making contact. Oh, boy. It's not good. We're going downhill. Try to get out of that. There we go. The other tree branch right there by the driver's side rear fender was gonna hold us up for sure. We weren't gonna be able to make it past that. Are we still recording? Yes, we are. Going towards the old beat up bridge here. Oh, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Keep on going, keep on going. Oh, I fell into a hole. Passenger side tire. This is going to be an epic one here, guys and gals. Really impressed. I mean, it is almost double the battery. I guess it is. Yeah, 750. It is double and then a little bit. SCX24 has a 350 milliamp battery, which would be 7 amps if you were to double that. And this one is 7.5 amps. Well, no, not 7.5 amps and not 7 amps. 0.7 amps, sorry. Because it's 0.350. 0.350. Right around a third of an amp. And this one is double that. Double in a pinch. We're getting stuck on the old bridge again. Not too sure we want to go that way anyways. The bridge is a mess. It's too bad. Guess it's motivation to do some work back here. I've been slacking for a couple of years now. Winding our way up. Gotta love this little truck. This is a great little truck. Great little truck. I mean, really, if I would have had this truck when I was a kid, I would have had so much fun with this thing out in the snow. So much fun. It reminds me of being a kid playing around with the Radio Shack 4x4 trucks of the mid 80s. The ones that ran on C-cell batteries. Tyco had one as well. I had a Tyco, which is similar to this Ford here as far as body style goes. My brother had a Radio Shack. The Radio Shack had a slightly longer wheelbase. They were both almost identical trucks. They both ran on the same setup with batteries and everything else. Same style transmitter, same style tires. Just the Tyco had a little bit shorter wheelbase. And they both had their pros and cons in the snow. The longer wheelbase was a little bit better on the hills in the snow. And they both, once again, had their ups and downs. But the fact that they ran on C-cell batteries meant that they ran for a while. You could get a good, 25 minutes or half hour run on it, possibly a little bit more, before they went into battery packs. Oh, excuse me. But they weren't proportional. This is fully proportional left and right, fully proportional steering, fully proportional throttle with braking, good suspension, good tires. I might have gave up a kidney for something like this when I was a kid. This is definitely a sweet vehicle, that is for sure. A sweet vehicle. So much fun out here in the snow. Wear some waterproof bibs, snow pants, jacket, gloves. Really want to appreciate the angle, get down low like I am. I'm laying down in the snow as this truck is crawling up the hill. Yeah, this thing is awesome. I would have killed for a truck like this back in the day. What a sweet truck, man. What a sweet truck. I keep wanting to say that viewer's name. Man, I can't thank you enough. It's like, shut up already. He's gonna tell me by the he's gonna tell me by the end of this video to stop thanking him. Stop thanking me and just drive it. All right, this is Old Stump right here. Old Stump itself, actual. We're trying to climb it. We're not gonna be able to do it. We are on top of the hill. We'll side skirt around this way. We still recording? Looking down the phone, yeah. Hour and 13 minutes, give or take. Give or take me talking. Cutting the wheel slightly left. We're side skirting this hill. I'm laying down in the snow. Gonna crunch a little bit as I turn. That angle to me. Don't lose it. Don't get too steep. Gotta shoot this gap just right. Oh, don't lose it. We're losing it. I go downhill to go uphill. Steering downhill a little bit. Cutting back uphill. Made it up that part. Just steady throttle position here. And we're getting stuck. Right after I said that. What you guys can't hear is that in the background, there's an oil rig around here that's been making noise for, man, about 2 years. I want to say. On a quiet night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you can hear it clear as a bell. It's making a whole bunch of racket. Just totally unmaintained. I don't know what's going on with it, like a pump jack. The pump jack is what it is. But for anybody who's ever seen the movie Resident Evil or any of the Resident Evils, if you know what the juggernauts are from Resident Evil that drag the big monstrous axes through the streets, that's what it sounds like. You keep hearing this like with the sound of a pipe dragging. It sounds like one of those axes being dragged through the street from that movie. I can hear it right now. Not too sure what angle where it's coming from. Sometimes it sounds like it's coming from out this way. Other times it sounds like it's coming from out that way. I tried finding it before with the side-by-side and can never track it down. Every time I drive towards the sound, it ends up getting quieter. The closer I think I'm getting to it, the quieter the sound gets. Side skirting this hill. Yeah, but unmaintained pump jack, I can hear it just banging away in the background here. It throws out a little pow every once in a while too. And we're getting stuck on the side of this hill. Hour and 16 minutes. Oh yeah, we're gonna roll it. We're gonna roll it. I almost said the viewer's name. Snow is balling up underneath the tires or in the wheels. Passenger tire in the air. We're asking for trouble. Trying to hold this angle. Just hard right. Kind of hard right. We're gonna pull out of it. We're not gonna be able to make it up that hill, but we're gonna try to keep skating here. Slow drift around this thing. It'll go uphill. A little left to right, left to right. Just holding right. Once again, this truck is just a lot of fun. Total riot. I'm gonna leave a link down below for it just because I think it's a great vehicle. I really do. I really like it. Once again, previous owner put a crawler gear in it, so it might not be so good with the stock gear, and we'll find out when I get that Bronco. You know, these are not new vehicles. They've been out for a while. There's probably all kinds of people with videos about these things. They probably all said the exact same stuff. But I've been in the hobby for a long time. Since I was 4 years old, roughly. And I'm 51 now. Long time. My first RC car was proportional. I was kind of spoiled by that. And then had many other cars in between that weren't all the crappy cars that we pick up at Kmart and wherever else, that would go forward and turn left or right and reverse. The cars with the cords coming off of them and the batteries were in the controller, which was a controller, it wasn't a transmitter. It was a remote control. That was a remote control car, not a radio controlled car. Not really a concern these days. Everything's radio controlled these days. But back then, a remote control car had a cord coming off the back of it. We call them cord cars. And they were actually good because they were waterproof or somewhat water resistant because all the electronics, all the important stuff was in the transmitter, which was in your hand. And then there was just a power cable going to the car for the steering servo and the motor for the most part. But the main circuit board, motherboard, all that stuff was in the transmitter. Which meant that you could totally submerge those cars, and we did. They were the only ones that you could back then. I ruined so many nice cars by playing in mud puddles, or not mud puddles, but frozen puddles or spring thaw, I should say, where everything's melting and you're out there with a brand new toy that you got for Christmas. Start playing around in a frozen ice puddle, and the next thing you know, it didn't take much to get for those cars to go completely kaput. Just a littlest splash, and they were done for. Once again, just one more reason why these newer vehicles are just so much superior. Like I said, I'd kill for something like this. Excuse me for getting tongue-tied. Back when I was a kid, I would have had the option for this vehicle. If I would have seen this vehicle, I would have been like, oh my God, I will give you my dirt bike for that thing. I'll give you my CR80 for that. Side skirting up the sand hill here. I mean, old stump. The wood shed up there. Buggy's jailhouse is on here somewhere. Don't want to step on that. Even when there's a log right here that's buried. Yeah, so we're way off course. Actually, the course is right here. We are way off course over here. We're going towards the log. Hour and 21 minutes. Go, baby, go. But I hope the low voltage protection is on this ESC. We did have to rebind it, the truck to the transmitter. And I did reset the ESC to crawler mode. Hopefully it's set up for lithium polymers all the time. That's it came with one. Come on, baby, get up that hill. Yeah, there we go. A little side skirting left to right. We made it. Climbing up a log. Sitting on a couple of sawhorses, so that's not bad. We're climbing up a snowdrift. Big old snowdrift over here on the other side. We could probably roll it going into that. Come off the top of this. Drive straight into that. We don't want to roll it, but saying we probably will. Pretty steep. Go slow. Ah, yep, I was right. We're gonna roll it. Get you, buddy. There you go. Oh yeah, that's right. We got BBs. BBs in the tires. I forgot about that. That could be why we're getting stuck today. We've got the extra weight from the BBs in the tires. We made it out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. On time here. Sorry for the non-eventful video, guys and gals. Made up the hill. Motoring around in the snow, battery testing. I don't know how long Traxxas says this thing will run for. We've got an hour and 24 minutes right now. We're doing all right. Faster we go, I can feel those BBs are rolling inside the tires. They might be going all the way around, full circle. Giving it a little bit of a wobble. And real professional sound of the snow moving around. Truck so far out of view. Come on, baby, keep on trucking. The tires almost feel a little lumpy there. Up and over, baby. Being on a roller coaster at Cedar Point. Oh, we're down in the hole. Oh, we're getting stuck. Keep our way out of that. Cool little truck, in case I forgot to mention that. I know I didn't. I'm just saying it's a cool truck. I said, I would have killed to have something like this. Wouldn't you? Anybody who's around my age, you know? This is a sweet little truck. Bang for your buck kind of deal, you know? It's really nice. Oil-filled shocks all the way around. I said, I think the oil needs to be changed. I think the shock springs need to be changed, maybe, possibly. We really won't know until we get it out into, once again, on the solid ground and see what it's capable of. We got a wood pile sitting here. I don't know how it's crawl on that, eh? This is really another do it your own risk situation. Soft around the edge of that wood pile. Put a little bit of fold on the tire, trying to push it up over that log. Now I could use a little bit more low end control. That's what I'm noticing right now. Maybe a little bit more low end power. It'd be nice if you could put a different pinion gear on here, but you're set with this thing. It has one set gear position. From what I noticed with aftermarket transmissions and the stock transmission. Same thing with the steering servo. This is where I'm noticing that the steering servo is losing a little bit of pull, but we've also been driving for an hour and 28 minutes. All right. Got a little bit torqued up and close to the edge. I don't know. We're not going to be able to make it through this next gap very well. It's a little bit too much for what the truck has to offer here. Got hard right. Try not to get dripped on. Let's try to get our front end over the edge of this log. Cutting hard left. And drag our bumper over this edge. Gonna go straight here a little bit. Bumper contact's gonna keep us upright. Front tire on the passenger side is way up in the air. And we're going to cut back left here. As soon as that back tire makes contact right down here, we're cutting back left, hard left. All right, we got the back tire to sit down. Now, once again, they do sell high clearance links for this truck. I can't believe we made it up over that edge. Can't believe we just made it through that whole gap there. They do sell high clearance links for this truck, but I think they'd be absolutely pointless. These links right here are already sitting parallel with the drive shaft. If you put on high clearance links, that means that your drive shaft would be taking every hit. With these, at least your links and your drive shaft are even and sitting at an even parallel there. So once again, I think these are more beneficial. It'll be a smoother transition, easier to get over obstacles with these links versus the high clearance links. I think the high clearance links might hold you up because it's going to end up causing the drive shaft pinion to make contact more often, and that in itself would hold you up. Let's key on the flash and take a look at that if we can get a look at it. See, look at that. See where your links come down and see where the drive shaft pinion is, and see how the drive shaft is still hanging down just a little bit below the links as it is. If we were to put high clearance links on there, that increases the angle back here and puts it up even higher, which means that that drive shaft would be taking every hit. They do make them, but I don't think that they would be useful on this truck. Maybe on the front. Well, nope, not even on the front. I think the stock ones are fine. High clearance links would be a waste of money. Now, if you wanted to get brass links or something like that to add weight to your vehicle, well, then just try to find a set of straight links and not anything that are high clearance. I almost bought a set of high clearance links for it, and then I started looking at all the pictures on Amian's website of the truck and zooming in on everything and was like, I don't think those things would make much of a difference. Or if anything, might be bad for it. Well, we're getting stuck on this log, which is no matter really because we can't go any further. I had to pick up the truck after this anyways. This does have a 4-link setup up front, which I like. Axial SCX24s come with a 3-link setup on the front stock. I have a 4-link setup on mine currently, thanks to Mofo RC, or the Mofo RC parts that I put on the vehicle. Oh, I can't believe we just made that spread. Oh, look at that. Back tire's down in the hole. We're twisted up in here good. I said we couldn't go any further. And we're taking it right to the edge. Literally right on the edge of the pile at the end of the run here. Yeah, we're going off the edge. Well, that's as far as we can get. Pick it up, little hand to God there, hand to Jim. We're still log crawling. I don't want to go over this edge either because that's a long drop into a not so soft landing. If we fall to the left, we're okay. We're in snow. If we fall to the right, it's no good. It's no good. Easily 5 feet down. Hung up on our belly pan. And yes, they sell brass transfer case, or not transfer case, but transmission mounts, transmission plate there, belly pans. That lower cross member there. They also sell aluminum ones as well, but if you're looking for more weight, then yes. But traditionally speaking, plastic slides over rocks better than brass or aluminum. I think titanium slides over the rocks probably the best out of anything. But titanium parts are very limited. Bumper contact. Oh, let's see if we can muscle through with the servo. Yes, we did. Been balancing on top of a wood pile. Strike and oppose here as I change positions. Dragging our back axle, dragging our links. Now you could use a little bit higher link up here on this end of it. That might be a little bit helpful. They have a little slight bend out right there, but not so much on the lower side of the links. Oh, we got it. We getting it? Oh, we almost got it. Oh, there we go. And we could back up and maybe, hopefully not drop our tire back off that edge. Once again, steering servo, like I was saying, it's I could definitely feel the lack of power once I got up onto this stuff. But still, for a stock steering servo, for an RTR, it's pretty darn impressive. It's definitely much more impressive than the axial setup. Hopefully that's the same with the ESC on this as well, the or ECM, the electronic control module for the slash receiver. Axial burned out relatively fast. Whole motor setup burned out fast. Sometimes the ESCs went out. We burned up an ESC on my brother's deadbolt, burned up a motor on my brother's deadbolt, burned up a servo on my brother's deadbolt. Relatively quick, low miles, very low miles. And I had relatively low miles. I thought I was having good luck with my Jeep JLU CRC and was telling everybody the same thing, that we had problems with the deadbolt, but my Jeep seemed to be good to go. And then the motor went out on my Jeep with very low hours. Once again, everything that was done with that vehicle was done on video camera. So they're all uploaded. This is a heck of a little drop over here. Again, got a teeter in there on the, on the transfer case skid plate, transmission skid plate. All right, so we got our front end over, and I'm just kind of use the front tire to help pull us over a little bit more. Now, right now, I'm kind of bound up on the servo, and I'm working the servo and the throttle at the same time. Nowhere to go on this next drop. Certain doom. So we're going to have to pick it up. And 1 second once we complete that drop. There we go. Pick it up, move it along. So yeah, a stronger servo would probably be beneficial. But for stock RTR servo, it's not bad. Like I said, it's definitely better than the axial setup. I think pound for pound, scale for scale, it's better than the one that came in the my TRX4 Bronco when I first bought it. My Sunset Bronco. That servo went out within a couple days. Until I bought the Traxxas Complete BEC kit. And that certainly prolonged the life of the servos, that's for sure. That's part of the problem with the stock Traxxas servo, the 2075 that came in those original TRX4s, was that it was the ESC wasn't giving it enough power. The Traxxas ESC was putting out less than 6 volts. 5.57 maybe, or 5.4 or something like that. You put the Traxxas Complete BEC in there and it gives it an even 6 volts. No more, no less. This is not bad. I just felt the move the back end of the truck around trying to climb through this rut here. We've got our back tire up in the air over there. Hour and 38 minutes. And we're still tugging along here. Oh, come on, baby. That's a heck of a climb. Front tires are trying to get over a transition. Back tires trying to get over a piece of bark. Snake our way through here. Asking a lot. Snagging our bumper back here on a piece of bark. Oh, really snagging our bumper back there at a piece of park. Trying to go right to get off of this, trying to go left to get off of it. Felt the servo move the vehicle again. That's good. Got enough power to move the vehicle around a little bit. Back bumper is really snagged on this tree or on this piece of bark over here. But we can't go too far to the right because we'll be dropping off this pile. Oh, there we go. We got it off. That's what she said. There we go. We're making it. Slide the flash on. Oh, slipping and sliding. Let's kill our flash here. I don't know if we really need that per se. There we go. We're almost to the end of the woodpile. We're almost there. Contact. Oh, I can't believe we made it. Not bad approach angle there. And we're about to make contact again here with the side of their that post right there. And we're about to run out of space here on this log. We're touching the post. We're just about off the edge of this log. We're only gonna be able to go so far here. Oh, can't go anywhere there. We're Tiger's climbing up the post. Oh, we made it. All right. That's as far as we can go. Not bad. We're an hour and 41 minutes in. We climbed that whole darn thing. We made it down one edge of the woodpile. Let's move it back the other way. My thanks to anybody who's watching this video 1-to-1 full length. I appreciate that. Might be one or two people that are doing that. Somebody have it on for background noise while they're working on their vehicle. My videos are always good for that. Good for some background noise. Maybe you need to go to sleep at night and you're having trouble sleeping. I'll talk you to sleep too. Oh, we caught some traction there in the wrong way. We got our bumper snag. We're on our belly pan. Keep me getting a little bit of traction here and there to the left or to the right. Want to break this thing. Oh, we're hung up. Let's get first hand to God there. Driver error. It happens. I was hitting this stuff straight. You should be hitting it at diagonals. As I should square it off and oh, I don't get snagged again. Tires are chattering on that tree bark. There we go. There we go. There we go. Until then. It's funny, like I'm leaning with the truck. I find myself leaning with the vehicle. All right, we made it to the next gap. Do or die. Back front tire in the air on the driver's side. Just keep cutting hard left here. And I'm going to try to cut it back to the right. Maybe we can drag ourselves over it. There we go. Bumper grabbing. Oh, we're not going to get out of that. Bumper is underneath a piece of bark. Oh, that's not good. Back end was drifting off the other side. Oh, we don't want to go that way. We got back end and go the other way. We're really caught here. This might be another hand of God here. We're putting some scratches on that chrome grill. I'm sorry to the person who donated the vehicle to the channel. Oh boy. We're right on the edge. Right on the edge. Oh boy. It does have enough power to move the back of the vehicle around, but we are in the air as well. Stick gouging the door here, about ready to rip through. Passenger's gonna get impaled. Oh, we got some gnarly bark there. Gnarly bark. Tires up in the air on the other side. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this truck's all right. A lot of fun. So once again, yeah, I'll leave links down below for the vehicle. I normally would only leave links for stuff that I think is good. I'm not going to try to steer you guys wrong. It happens sometimes with stuff. You can't guarantee electronics, of course, you know. Some batches are better than others as well when it comes to vehicles. All right, we made it to the next patch. No guarantees on things, you know. This one might just be a really good one out of the gate. Like never buying a car on a Monday, you know, or a Friday. Get a car that was built on a Tuesday or a Thursday or something. Built with a little bit more care. Monday, nobody wants to be at work. Friday, nobody wants to be there either. Same way with RC cars, you know. Well, this one's a little bit tricky. I'd like to hit this on a diagonal, but this next board that we're going to climb onto here is pretty narrow. So we don't really have much room for error there, much margin for error. We definitely need to hit the diagonal, or else we're not going to be able to span that gap over top of that log. We need to get our tires to cross that sideways. So I think we're going to go to extreme right over here and cut back, or extreme left and cut back to the right. Trying to force the bumper over the log right now. It's not happening. They do make aluminum bumpers for this that look like the stock bumpers. I've seen those. But plastic slides over better. Slides over rocks better. A little bit more give, as you can see there, as I was pushing on that log. Wouldn't be able to do that so easy with an aluminum bumper. All right, we're right on the edge here. Right on the edge, and we lost it. I thought we were going to make it. Well, maybe we might be able to hop up over it. Last ditch effort. Right here if we juice it. Nope. Not enough juice. Not enough juice, man. That's a bummer. That is a bummer. Put a couple fingers in here, maybe. Oh, I can't reach the steering wheel. There we go. Need a sand ladder. We could have made it. I have to put a couple sand ladders in this vehicle, little micro sand ladders. Usually the last thing I purchase, anything like that, money always goes into parts first. That's a big transition right there. I don't know if we're going to be able to climb that one or not. It's a lot to ask for. It's not getting any better. We don't have much room to work on this side. We're starting to get our belly pan snagged on the stump behind us, or the log that we're sitting on with the back end there. Oh boy. We can flip that log over. Okay. Well, we're wedged in here really good. This is one of those situations where I'd say it's a you could break something real easy. Folding the tire over, we're pushing a log back. We got a lot of torque on that front bumper. If this vehicle was not mine, and I was borrowing somebody else's vehicle, I would definitely stop right there. Would not proceed forward. Unless they said, yeah, go for it, man. I don't care. Let's see if you can make it. I'd be like, all right. You don't care. Oh, boy. Well, we're an hour and 50 minutes in, man, and we are still trucking with the Ford. Well, sideways in here. If we can get our front tire on this log, we might be able to make it over. Once again, we need a sand ladder here as well. We're getting wedged in here sideways. This is a bad day on the trail right here. Passenger is not happy with the driver. He knows he's going to have to walk home. Oh, boy. We're rolled over on the side of the wood pile. Back bumper is grabbing this log over here, and it's making it impossible for us to get out of here. There we go. We cut back right. Can we make it back up this log? Back up just a little bit. I want to get that front tire, that passenger side front tire on that log. We're losing power. Yeah, we're snagged on something here. Back axle snagged. Yep. We're snagged on the log right back here. At the same time that we're trying to climb over something else over there. Yeah, she's not doing it. We're snagged on something here. I'm gonna have to give it a hand to God, guys and gals. I don't know what was going on there, but we had some kind of snag happening. So we'll give it the benefit of the doubt, and we'll put our front end up here on the top. Maybe our battery's going low. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a lot of throttle input to get it moving. What are we flashing anything on the inside here? Can't tell. If we got anything going on back there or not. But it does seem rather powerless. That seems pretty dead. Let's unplug this thing real quick while we're sitting here. Like that clipless body. That's nice. Alright, so our ESC is flashing red. They are flashing red down here. Don't know how long that's been flashing for, but hopefully our battery's in good condition. Hopefully we didn't kill anything. We're going to have to make sure that we read our manual and see that we have the low voltage cutoff turned on. All right, after consulting our quick start guide, I've discovered that the vehicle is equipped with a 3-stage low voltage detection system, which is hardwired into the ECM. So no worries about that being turned on or turned off. It's hardwired into the ECM, so it's always on. Right now we are in stage 1. We have a slow blinking red light on the ECM. Our ECM is on, our lights are on, and the vehicle speed has been reduced to 25%.
they suggest unplugging the battery and recharging. Now at this point in time, we're probably just below a storage level on the battery as far as being charged. The storage level is 7.6 volts. I'd imagine if you get to this point right here, you're probably just below 7.6. Now stage 2, we have a fast blinking red light on the ECM. ECM is still on, your lights are still on, but the vehicle will not drive. If it gets to the point where the vehicle stops moving, unplug it immediately. Unplug the battery immediately and recharge it. You're probably getting very close to the danger zone with the battery discharge. Stage 3, ECM LED is off, ECM is off, lights are off. Stage 3 shut down. Once again, they suggest unplugging the battery and recharging it. At this point in time, it may be below that safe discharge threshold, and you might not be able to recharge the battery. It might be just too low to recharge. So reading what it says here, the ECM is equipped with a 3-stage low voltage detection, LVT, low voltage detection, that alerts the driver when the lithium polymer batteries have reached their minimum voltage discharge threshold. Stop immediately to prevent the battery pack from being discharged below its safe minimum threshold. Unplug the battery and recharge it. All right, so when it comes to the ECM, there is no on-off button on the ECM. So when you're done driving the vehicle, when the vehicle stops, immediately remove the body, unplug the battery, take the battery out of the vehicle, put it in your pocket. Never leave the battery plugged into the vehicle, not even for 5 minutes. Leaving the battery plugged into the vehicle, once again, there's no off button on the ECM, so it'll just drain your battery down to nothing. So as soon as the vehicle stops moving, or you're done running it, or it gets to the slow blinking red light, or reduced to 25%, or it stops moving, period, take the body off, unplug it immediately. But if it gets to this stage right here where everything shuts off, you might be at risk for damaging the battery at that point in time.
All right, so we're unplugging the battery right now. Just unplugged it and put the battery in my pocket. Put the body back on the truck. Take it inside. Throw our battery on the charger and make sure that it's charging before we go too much further. So we have an hour and 54 minutes roughly on tape here of solid running, and we can maybe safely assume we had 4 minutes of goof around time in between there with talking and blah blah blah, right? So maybe safe to consider hour and 50 minutes even for runtime. That's not bad. It's actually pretty darn good. We are back in the shop, both vehicles sitting here. Not too sure how to go about checking this battery other than we've got a positive and a negative and a negative. So I'm going to put a positive on the positive and then go to negative and check it, and then go to the other negative and check it and see what we're hitting here. All right, let's put our positive on our positive over here. Make sure we're positively hitting positive, and then go to one negative. We are, well, seeing one something 7.5. That's not bad. Okay, 3.75 on that one. And 7.5 on that one. So we're reading 3.75 going from positive to this top terminal, and 7 point something going to the other terminal. Well, it's telling me what one individual cell is, and it's telling me what both cells are. So we're going to these two, the outside wires, which is this one and this one. Our standard positive and negative is the 7.5 volt range. And then when we go from positive to our negative up here on the top middle, that's when it's telling us 3.5. Once again, we ran for an hour and 50 minutes, roughly. I'll do the math here when I edit the video on it just to make sure. The final cut. But we ran for an hour and 54 minutes. That was our total runtime on the video. So I'm thinking minus walking and talking and stuff and moving positions, that we probably burned up at least 4 minutes doing that. So we'll see. Maybe 5 minutes. But that's not bad. That's a pretty good runtime. All right, there we go, boys and girls. Love this truck. Once again, absolutely love that truck. Can't thank the viewer enough for sending that out here. Very much appreciated that person. A great birthday gift and a great donation to the channel. All right, that is going to do it once again, boys and girls. Very much appreciated for y'all sticking around and watching the video. Questions and comments are always welcome, and we'll see you all on the next one. Thanks again.